This is our first annual spring prom that was absolutely legendary. People still talk about how much fun they had that day. We had the photo booth so people could take pictures with their friends. We had great music, dancing, of course. We had snacks. It was so much fun. This was Edie's great brainchild. When the street was all closed for construction that summer, it was so hot, and they bought a bunch of snow and had a snowball fight outside and made a snowman. Okay, here's a poem by one of the women from years ago that I just love, by Judy Lee. You knock on my door and I invite you to enter in. Welcome to my sanctuary. But wait, you bring outrage and discord as unwelcome guests. They cannot accompany you through my door. When you knock on my door, leave your friends outside. Set aside your troubles of the day and join me with peace in your heart. Share tea and the changing colors of the evening with me. Chat about growing things. Your troubles can wait outside my door. Perhaps they will grow tired and go away. I think Judy captured what a monumental gift it is to have housing and have a place to live. The way that she titled it Sanctuary, it really captures how amazing it is to have your own place. And sometimes those of us who have our own house and have had it always and never been homeless take it for granted. And it also talks about boundaries, how she's really been able to draw the boundaries and keep her house a sanctuary for her, which I love. So, yeah.
Welcome to the 19th annual People Who Care event, and our second on the big screen. I'm Edie Rice-Sauer, Executive Director of Transitions. Thanks to all of you who continue to support Transitions during these uncertain and ever-changing times. Today you're in for a real treat, so get comfy and get ready for some great stories and teachings. The value we celebrate this year is community. Despite all the obstacles that COVID has created, we have still been able to engage in creative community. For example, New Leaf supported multiple programs with their culinary skills. Miriam's House put together an outdoor buy nothing yard sale for alumni. The Women's Hearth created walk-through events for Galentine's Day and Christmas, and our housing programs continue to provide case management however they could, even via text and phone. And Educare started a school when in-person education went on a hiatus. Plus, they designed a very fun summer program for school-age kids. This year, we also get to celebrate 30 years at the Women's Hearth. Since 1991, Women's Hearth has been a low-barrier space for women in Spokane who need safety, love, and community. Over the years, the Hearth has been a community center with tons of arts and crafts, karaoke, movies, knitting groups, AA meetings, and more. And it's turned into a well-respected program in the homeless services community for successfully housing so many challenging to house women each year. Today's program is all about the Hearth's impact, and we hope you feel the same pride that we do in this amazing legacy. Before we get going into the program, I'd like to thank our event sponsors. They show up for us every year, and we're honored to partner with them. They are Bill and Mary Murphy, Providence Healthcare, Sisters of Providence, AmeriGroup, Bernardo Wills Architects, Horizon Credit Union, Kalispell Tribe of Indians, and Northern Quest Casino, Rogue Heart Media, Cincinnati Dominican Sisters, Sisters of the Holy Names of Jesus and Mary, Sisters of St. Francis of Philadelphia, STCU, BECU, Canopy Credit Union, GESA Credit Union, Ware Law Office, Community Frameworks, Numerica Credit Union, and a huge thank you to our sponsors who are also our founders and the reason for Transitions exists. Cincinnati Dominican Sisters, Sisters of the Holy Names of Jesus and Mary, Sisters of Providence, Sisters of St. Francis of Philadelphia. Congratulations also to this year's Marie Pizzello Award winner, St. Clair Ecumenical Catholic Community. For years, they've served alongside us at the Women's Hearth. You can watch the award video on our social media pages. We are so excited for you to hear from our keynote speaker and our alumni. Thank you for being our community and keeping transitions in your hearts and minds over the past year.
11 years ago, I received an invitation to do something that would forever change my life. I had just graduated from college and I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do next. Like many recent college graduates, this was a time when I was really thinking about who I wanted to be in the world. I knew I wanted to anchor my life in some way to working for social justice. I knew that I didn't want to acquiesce to aspects of our culture that tell us to ignore realities of poverty, inequality, and other social harms, and to just focus on individualistic goals like personal success. I wanted to be a part of creating the change our world so dearly needs. Of course, I hadn't the slightest clue how to pursue this path. So I knew a little bit about this program called AmeriCorps, and I knew that I had lived most of my life in New Jersey, and I really wanted to experience something else. So I applied for an AmeriCorps position in the city that I had perhaps heard of once or twice called Spokane, and at this organization that sounded pretty interesting called the Women's Hearth. To this day, I am certain that my year working for transitions at the Women's Hearth was the year that I learned the most. I learned from the incredible people who I got to call coworkers how to stay committed to causes you care about for years on end, and how to work together to make decisions in alignment with the values that you hold most dear. I learned from Catholic sisters what it means to commit your life so fully to social justice and community care. And most importantly, I learned every day from the women who spent time at the Hearth about resilience in the face of compounded inequity, solidarity with others who have experienced harm and deep pain. And I learned from the women every day about the joy of feeling that you are a part of a community, which is now something I so firmly believe should be a human right. After my year at Transitions, I went on to get a PhD in psychology in a program explicitly focused on social justice, and I became a college professor and researcher. Throughout all of this time, I've remained grateful for everything that I learned during my year at the Women's Hearth. The insights and values I gained here have continued to impact so much of my work. So during the summer of 2019, I came back to visit, and I couldn't have been happier when Susan and I got into a conversation, and it seemed like it would be possible for me to do a research project here at the Hearth. As a researcher, I've spent time at several organizations that are doing important and powerful work related to social justice. But I knew that the model happening here at the Hearth was really uniquely powerful and something so important to explore. So back in January of 2020, my colleague and dear friend Erin and I were able to complete 22 interviews with women who participated in the Hearth for varying lengths of time. We spent the next few months analyzing the results, and I want to share some of our findings with you. First, we found that participating in the Women's Hearth facilitated a sense of agency and capability among the people we interviewed. This means that because of their involvement in the Women's Hearth, women felt better able to accomplish the goals they have in their day-to-day lives. So for example, one person we interviewed, when we asked her why she came to the Hearth, she explained, "The Hearth is a sense of action to help people reach their goals. The Hearth is my morning cup of coffee. It's my morning go-to to help me get through the rest of my day. It's my strength." Perhaps even more important was the extent to which people repeatedly discussed how powerful it felt to be treated like a regular person when they were here at the Hearth. So another woman explained, "Anyone that comes in here, they're accepted. We're all treated equally. Whether we have disabilities or handicaps, they just treat everybody the same. You know, we're not homeless people. We're people to them." The reality is, there are so few places in the world where people are simply accepted for who they are. And feeling accepted is so central to our well-being and our ability to live healthy and fulfilling lives. When a person feels that they are accepted by others, they are better able to accept themselves. And when we can accept ourselves, we're better able to envision and create a brighter reality. The most powerful finding to me, though, was how profoundly impactful it was to have a sense of community with other people at the Women's Hearth. Over and over again, women spoke about developing friendships, about having people who took the time to learn about them, people who cared about what happened to them. So this time I want to share 2 examples with you because there were so many powerful examples. So the first one is, one woman explained, "If I had a home, this would be my second home. Family doesn't have to be bloodline. It's like we're all sisters. One big sister family where everyone is their own individual. Every day that I walk in here, I know they're my sisters. I don't necessarily have to get along with them, but they're like my family." And then another woman shared, "I have a lot of things in common with the women that come here. We're all survivors, and they've been there this way. I'm not the only one. This place has always been just an example of what I couldn't find out there. I can come here and I can feel a part of some kind of light, some kind of sanctuary, some kind of collaboration, some kind of future." So by connecting with others at the Hearth, the women we interviewed were able to resist the isolation of their individual experiences and trauma and instead feel the warmth of community that literally can compel one to want to come back. Being a part of a community can support you in making the changes in your life that you want to make because you know that other people care. Feeling that you are a part of a community literally leads people to live longer and healthier lives. And indeed, we heard from more than one of the women that we interviewed that they believed that they were alive because of the Women's Hearth. To be honest, I don't think that our findings are all that surprising to folks who have spent much time at the Hearth. You only need to be there for a little while before folks know your name, before you feel a sense of comfort, before you want to contribute to the environment and make it your own. But the reality is, the world that is created at the Hearth is still very countercultural to the individualistic world outside. We need more places like the Hearth, and we need to support them and the values that are cultivated there. I will forever feel indebted for all that I gained from my year working at the Women's Hearth. Thank you so much for your time today.
Hi, my name is Michelle Schlinger, and I'm from the Women's Hearth. I started going to the Hearth because I really felt that it was a place where I felt accepted. I had a mental illness for a long time, and it was a place where I enjoyed the women and the staff, and they were very accepting of me at the time. We had some great sisters there, and they were always very nice to me, and they always accepted me, even though I might have not been in the state that I wanted to be in. Through the years, as I developed into getting to know myself a little bit better and getting on my medication, then it became a lot easier for me to be able to go to the Hearth and to get into some of the classes that were there. I enjoyed the writing classes, especially. I enjoyed the reflective art classes that they had there. I enjoyed just being there because it was just a phenomenal place for women to go who didn't have a place to call their own. Kind of like rejuvenate yourself a little bit when you're out in the streets, as I was for many years. You feel a little bit alone, and so I was very apprehensive at the beginning, but then after I joined and became a part of their circle, I call it the circle of love, I guess now. Like cozy, you know, it's like a cozy kind of warmth to your heart and to your soul. It was very nice. So I felt very, very happy and very thankful that I was there and grateful at the same time. This is a poem I've written, and it's called The Early Years. So I'm very excited and very grateful that I am able to present this to you today. Take me back to the little sounds I used to hear. I stepped into an angel's haven, small, quaint, and so much love given. The Women's Drop-In Center, welcoming your heart as well as yourself. I'm a princess in a tiny castle. The love of the sisters was a smile God would be proud of. Like a river flowing evenly down course, we found a home. A promise never broken, a smile that never died. Love was just a simple hug and friendships that moved us to do better. I love those days, just simple people coming in to rest and know that they were loved. Classes were open to us all. Remembering the small spaces, but so homey, we felt accepted. They invite you in and they give you a cup of coffee and say welcome. And then I feel that that was the most important thing that was in my life at the time, where they truly accepted me, even with the clothes that I was wearing. It might have not been the right clothes, but they accepted me in that way of just come on in and we'll accept you. If you want to do any soul searching, it would be their souls were with you all the time. Their hearts were always there. They always made time for you. They were always just an inspiration to make the Hearth sound like it was alive. It was very alive back then. The women truly need that soft kind of arms around you feeling, and make them feel appreciated and hopeful, and to be another success story to maybe somebody else that might be out there. And so that's what I would hope for the future, is just a happy women's Hearth.
Some of this stuff is so fragile. I've been here long enough that I just share so many memories with so many of the women who've been here from the beginning. And, you know, they'll tell me old stories from the old building. You know, it's always the old building or the new building, even though now we've been here since 2004. But I wasn't in the old building, and I love hearing those stories.
I think it's really the sisters, and started this organization with nothing, really. They brought that sensibility of how important it is to meet people where they are, to accept them for who they are. And so as long as we can maintain that and remember that and remember them, we still have that core of integrity.
The Hearth is very unique, you know, compared to other states and compared to other places, because it has different sort of resources in the way that, like, you are interacting and exchanging back and forth. You're building that rapport. You're a safe place. You also have tons of information. You also have like food and a shower and computer. You have phones. You have all these kind of different things that you can tap into. And so, I don't know, it has that sense of safety compared to other places. And you get all of these stories of, you know, hardship and pain and suffering. And I think the Hearth is a safe place for those women to allow that to come out.
There's no place like this. It's just an open, welcoming space with not a lot of expectations, and trying to give somebody the hope that they can move from this place that they probably don't want to be anymore to someplace else where they can be passionate and they create their own community. And however they want to do that, you know, we have like the knit and crochet circle. That's their own little community. I think it's a little bit like a quilting bee is how I describe it. Like they come together and tell stories, and maybe they didn't even know they had that story in them.
So ladies, I feel like it's been quite some time since we've been able to do birthdays. And then we have these adorable hearts. So the deal is when I walk over to you, you get to close your eyes and pick one. And so you're not really picking one, one's picking you. These are the rules of birthdays. All right. And it's your birthday, you get to keep it. No peeking. And then that word came to you for a reason.
My name is Valerie, and so my birthday was in July, and 3 days after my birthday, I tried to kill myself. And to go from that to where I'm at today, which is rekindling working relationships with people, coming into the Hearth more often again because it's a safe place to be. I've been coming to the Hearth since 2003 when I first came into town. My then baby's daddy showed me where it was over on Howard, and I've been coming since then, off and on over the years. I'm just happy to be getting the apartment I'm getting. And, it reminds me to have joy, even though I'm camping out right now and it's getting colder, because it won't be too much longer.
Well, when I became homeless, it was a safe place that I could go. I started crocheting again, which helped able to meet friends and get together with others who had gone through some of the same stuff, but also others who've survived. And it helps to know that there is hope, because there's times when you feel like you're the only one or it's never going to change. This is one of those places that you can actually meet others and actually become good friends with them.
It's a difference between being homeless and not. It's a difference between being able to have a shower and not. They have a food pantry. Sometimes they'll give you food if you need it. And just all kinds of different things. You have to just ask.
I like that color. I like blue. Blue, yeah. Got a little sparkle to it.
It's a place where, kind of like Cheers, the old bar from the TV show, you know, everybody knows your name. You feel like you're welcome here.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Hearth ladies. Happy birthday to you. And then someone always says Channel 4.
It's amazing to know that this is 30 years. Good Lord. I didn't know that they had been here for this long. Today I asked Patty, I said, Patty, I feel like my life is up in the air, and I've been in treatment so many times. I said, but you know what, I think I need that little bigger help. And so I asked her if I could go to treatment. I just feel like, you know, she's always been there. You know, even though she's a tough old guy, but you know what, she's there. That's why she's still here. She knows how to go get him.
All of us come to work every day to do good work and do the best we can and to help people be their best selves as well. And that's why I've been here 17 years. You don't get that everywhere. You don't get to do that everywhere. So it's a joy. It really is. And being able to be a part of this community with the women, it's remarkable.
I joke around that I'm like, if I ever retire, I'm like, I know where I'm going for bingo, because like, it's a great place and I don't feel like I'm going to work. Like when you come in, the ladies are all like, hi, how are you, da da da. And you have just all these rapports with hundreds of ladies. And I think that is the connection that happens, is because you're up there, you're talking to them, you're getting to know them, you get to know their stories. And that sense of that someone cares about you, that you're homeless and someone actually wants to know your name.
There's just a lot of folklore, and the Hearth has a history, and a history in Spokane. It's a really great one, and I love being a part of it.
I have no family, but I do have, you know, the Women's Hearth. It's just people don't know how huge that is, you know, to be able to have somebody to just be there.
Let's recognize that we've had 30 years of a space that was safe for women, a celebratory place, an exciting place for them to come and sort of identify who they are and want to be in the future, maybe to let go of some of the past that's kept them tied down. And let's look forward to 30 more years. I mean, it's shocking that we've been around this long, but we've still got lots of important work to do. We want to create lots of welcoming spaces for women to be in, safe spaces. And thank you for your support in the past, and we look forward to being with you in the next 30 years too.
I really can't wait till we get back to having all these groups and make more memories.
At Transitions, we believe that the fullness of each person is realized in relationship with others, community. I hope that you feel your place in the Transitions community after our time together today. In these last few minutes of our virtual program, I'm asking you to make a financial contribution to support this community, our community. Your contribution is an important investment in helping those in transitions programs move their lives forward. We're grateful for every size gift. Please give what you are able. To donate, please click on the link in the description below this video. And that will bring you to our PwC donation page, and there are a few different ways to give, so please follow along with me before you decide. On the donation page, you'll see a list of one-time donation amounts and what each of those amounts could pay for. Select the quantity of the dollar amount you'd like to give, or fill in a different amount and click Next. I really encourage you to sign up for monthly giving over the next year. Monthly donations give Transitions regular income that programs can rely on. That's very important. They are also convenient for donors and can easily be budgeted based on your monthly income. Gifts could be any amount. For instance, $20 a month turns into $240 over the year, $50 a month turns into $600, and so on. If you'd like to donate $100 per month for a year, type 100 in the amount you would like to recur. To give monthly, click Yes. Then select Monthly under the frequency of donation. Finally, choose 12 recurrences or select October 14th, 2022 as the date of your final recurring donation. Confirm that recurring donation and click Next. If you're able, I encourage you to consider joining our Society of Transition Sustainers. Sustainer levels are listed and broken down near the top of the donation page. Our first level is Transition a Family, $1,000 per year for 5 years. Next is Sustain a Program, $5,000 per year for 5 years. Then it's Continue the Impact, $10,000 per year for 5 years. As the name suggests, these sustain transitions through years like 2020 and 2021, for instance, when unexpected realities became the norm. After finishing this page and clicking Next, you'll be taken to a review of your order and asked for the cardholder's information. Fill out your contact and card info. Anything with an asterisk next to it means it's a required information. Electronically sign by clicking on the box where it says Electronic Signature. Let the system know you're not a robot, and then click Submit for processing, and you're done. If you'd rather send in a check, make it out to Transitions and send it to 3128 North Hemlock Street, Spokane, Washington, 99205. This address is also listed near the top of the donation page. Please write PwC in the notes line. If you need help, want to give through a different method like a donor-advised fund, or prefer to give your credit card information over the phone, please call Transitions at 509-328-6702. We have folks on standby to help guide you through the donation process. Thank you so much for spending your time with Transitions today, for giving generously, and for helping in the work to end poverty and homelessness for women and children in Spokane. Transitions and Women's Hearth wouldn't be here without the ongoing work of our founding sisters, but also not without your continued support. Please stay well, stay strong, and keep building community.